I was having a conversation with a young lady this morning that I coach, and I've been coaching her for a long time, and she's doing incredible. She's literally more than doubled her income since we've started our sessions over a year ago. She is winning on every level. And she's recently embraced, and I'm not going to tell her business because that's not what I do, but she's recently embraced a philosophy that I have as far as what I've been teaching her to look at things from a business perspective, right? And the one thing that I want to emphasize to you guys, and ladies, you have to hear this more than everybody. Q, you have to hear this more than anybody, Q. All right, before we get into the whole Abba and Preach thing, you have to stop blocking people on your phone. Let me say that again. You have to stop blocking people. Ladies, gentlemen, I know it is so easy to do. I know that it's nothing but jumping inside of your iPhone and hitting a couple things here and there, and then you never have to see them again. You never have to hear from them again, and life is over from them. You just completely divest yourself from them. I will tell you that there is no one that is blocked in my phone from my past, and it has served me greatly. I'm going to break this down for you. There is no one that I've interacted with in my past that is blocked in my phone. And I'm going to tell you why, right? Because I want you to look at life from a business perspective before we deep dive into this whole Abba and Preach versus Donovan Sharp thing, right? Let's say hypothetically that you're dealing with a guy and you have a breakup with him, right? I shouldn't even be telling you this, but I'm going to tell you. Let's say you're dealing with a guy and you have a breakup with him, right? And then that breakup, y'all don't necessarily beef or anything like that, or you shouldn't be beefing. Even if something went wrong, they go about living a life and they go about moving their own certain way, right? I've had women that I've known for my entire life. I've had women that did me wrong as far as from a business perspective. I've had guys do me wrong from a business perspective. I've had different people jump in and out of my life. But what I found is that those people eventually evolve, and some for the better, some not so much so. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to reach out to them or talk to them. But what I found is that some of those very people that I established that early relationship with, not necessarily a romantic relationship, but just that early relationship with, even some of the women that I've had, relationship type of interactions with, even back in high school. Do you know some of those same people is the same people that I do business with today? Because you first have to start asking yourself, if I'm having a difficult time with the person that I'm looking to block, then that means that I have an issue with myself and attracting the wrong type of people into my circle. You need to vet effectively the type of people that you want to surround yourself with, because just because you're not intimately or romantically linked to them does not mean that they should be forever enemies. You don't know who's who. Let me give you another tip, ladies. Right? I was having a conversation with somebody last week, and they said, Anton, I was about to block somebody, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't because I listened to you. And they pissed me off, and they was talking about a guy. It was a woman that was talking about a guy that she had liked and stuff like that, right? And I said, okay, so now what? She said, he reached back out to me. I said, and what happened? She said, I wasn't pissed, and he was pleasantly surprised. I said, so what you going to do about that now? How are you going to utilize this? She said, I don't know. She said, he came back into my life now, in which it seemed like he was the one that had all of the power because I was head over heels for him. She said, but I did what you said, and I removed the emotion as far as how I initially felt about him deciding to move on with his life and not deal with me anymore. And I removed the emotion from it, so I didn't have any bitterness towards him at all. Because he didn't really do anything wrong. I was just hurt over the fact that I liked him, but it didn't necessarily translate into what I wanted from him long term. I said, and so now that he's back in your life, or he reached back out to you, what did you do? She said, I waited for a minute. I thought about it. She said, and then I started to ask myself a question. What is it that I want from this or from him? And how is it that it can benefit me? I said, there you go, baby girl. She said, because now he's reaching out to me and he's petitioning me in order to have conversations. So now I hold all the power. What y'all have to understand is that everything in life is a business move. 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. You are always supposed to be the one that controls the narrative, even if they think that they're the ones that have the power. I look at everything from a business perspective. And so now the first thing she said is, well, he is a person that I was looking to do business with initially before we even started to get into that type of situation. And so now as a result, I'm looking to mine out that situation. And then if it turns into something else in which I can enjoy them here or there because I do got something else that I got going on over here, then I'll utilize that. That thing that initially was scornful and issues and problems then became an asset to her to be used according to whatever purpose she can use it for, because she removed the emotion out of it and she didn't make an emotional decision to prevent herself from being able to do business with somebody that was high powered, because the person that she's dealing with is high powered. The thing that I'm trying to tell y'all and the thing that I'm trying to teach y'all is you have to remove the emotion. The problem with black people and the problem with people in general is that everybody think of everything with regard to relations first. Everything you think of is, well, why do they want to have sex with me? Or what are their intentions? What fucking difference does it matter what their intentions are? You know the thing that me and Rita are closely aligned on? Me and Rita are closely aligned on the idea that it takes two to tango. If a guy, and they regularly do, is interested in Rita, I utilize that for my benefit and my advantage long term. I'm not worried about Rita. You know how they usually say, check your chick, don't check the player? I ain't controlling and I ain't worried about what his goals are. As long as she's safe, as long as she never puts herself in a position to be taken advantage of or to be by herself or anything like that, I don't care. Do you know why women are the ones that primarily work for me? Do you know why women are 95% of my entire staff? It's because men do what the fuck women say because they always trying to impress them. And women are incredibly smart. And so the very first time that women start to understand that I'm not interested in a pussy, but I'm interested in utilizing their talents, they work incredibly hard for you. And then I use that as leverage in order to wind up doing better business with the men that I have interactions with. Do you know why they put women at the front of the restaurant in order to greet you? Do you know why women, if you walk down, go to Miami, right? And walk down on Miami Beach and walk past any restaurant. The first person that's in front of the restaurant is a woman. More often than not, it is a beautiful woman. She may not even really speak English, but she speaks Spanish. It's a reason for that. What I'm trying to teach you is to look at everything strategically and from a business perspective and remove your emotions, because you fucking up the money. You fucking up the opportunity. You fucking up your long-term prospects. And the problem with people is that they can't see in the future, or they can't see in hindsight the different options in which they fucked up. So they think, well, my life is good anyway, but your life could have been much better if you looked at it from a business perspective, because you don't know what you don't know. And so my point is that when you remove the emotion and you start moving strategically, you're always going to make a better decision. Stop blocking people, because the real thing that you're doing is you blocking your blessings. Just because somebody else was interested in you doesn't mean you have to necessarily partake. Utilize that as a resource. Build the relationship. Have them do however it is that they want to do, and stop removing yourself just for the sake of how somebody else feels. You control the narrative. Once you master yourself, once you master character, once you master you being able to operate in your purpose without being distracted, which is one of the reasons why I tell y'all to pray for character. Don't pray for money. The money is going to come. You then control the narrative. I don't have to worry about being tempted by something I'm not interested in. Then I control the narrative of who it is that I'm interacting with, and then you take care of business. That's how you move. The minute that you start to remove yourself from the idea that you can't control yourself, and you realize that just because somebody else feels a certain type of way doesn't mean that you have to execute in that same type of way, then you start to get richer, because you're not operating off of emotion. They are. I'm not worried about what other people are doing. The only thing I'm worried about is how it is that I'm moving and how I'm controlling the narrative. Stop blocking people. We are not in high school. We need to move strategically. We need to be a little bit smarter about how it is that we're building connections. And if you're so worried about what other people are doing, then do the work to vet people more effectively as far as who it is that's in your circle in the first place. But once they get there, You need to start being a little bit more mindful of how it is that you're making things move from a business perspective.